Hope the Honorable Vice-Chancellor of Karnataka Central University has also joined us. Hope the Dean School of Law has joined us. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ, the topic of today's lecture being a very unique, useful and interesting topic, Vāda Kathā from Śāstrartha to Courtroom Advocacy, and our speaker, the chief speaker, the Honorable Vice-Chancellor of Central Sanskrit University, Delhi, is a Sanskrit scholar, argued with seeking his permission and seeking his pardon wherever I commit mistakes. I want to start this with a few lines in Sanskrit. To begin with, let me start. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviram Karvavahi Tejasna Vadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahi Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarva Karyeshu Sarvada. May the higher energy protect us, nourish us, and give us energy to study together. We pray to Lord Ganesha to remove all obstacles from our academic assembly today. Since others are still joining, I welcome the august esteemed gathering today to this unique and rare lecture. Another sentence in Sanskrit with the permission. आदरणीय भाषण कर्तृभ्यः सम्मानीय संयोजकेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः च प्रेक्षकेभ्यः अत्रास्मिन् वेबिनार जाल संवादे हार्दिकं स्वागतम्. अद्य वयं वाद कथा फ्रॉम शास्त्रार्थ टू कोर्ट्रूम एडवोकेसी इति विषये विचार विनिमयं कर्तुम् अत्र समवेताः स्मः. A very hearty welcome to this webinar. Respected speakers, respected chief guest, respected presider, all the other members of the organizing team, especially all the other participants, honorable judges, learned advocates, members of my fraternity, all of whom have participated today, former vice-chancellors, present vice-chancellors. All of us can be summed up by addressing one term: we are all enthusiastic students. So I welcome everybody. I welcome Shri Professor Shrinivasa Varakhedi, Honorable Vice-Chancellor, Central Sanskrit University, New Delhi, who is the chief speaker today. I welcome Shri Professor Battu Satyanarayana, Honorable Vice-Chancellor, Central University of Karnataka, Kalaburgi. I welcome the guest of honors, Shri Professor Basavaraj M, Kubakaddi, Dean School of Law, Central University of Karnataka. I welcome Shri Mahadevaya Kardalli, the spine and backbone of and the trustee of Vijnaneshwara Prathisthana Trust, Martur. I welcome our coordinator, Dr. Girish KC, from the Karnataka State Law University, Hubballi. I welcome Dr. K.M. Krishnashekhar Sharma, Assistant Professor, Department of Law, Central University of Karnataka at Kalaburgi. Once again, I welcome Honorable Justices of the High Court of Karnataka, Honorable Justice Sri Hansate Sanjeev Kumar, Judge High Court of Karnataka, and all other judges who are present here or are yet to join. I welcome Shri Suryanarayan Rao, advocate from Chikkaballapur. I welcome all the students of law, all the faculty members of law. I welcome all the other brothers and sisters, central government standing councils, senior advocates, and all enthusiasts today to this special lecture. The topic of today's lecture is Vāda Kathā, from Śāstrartha to Courtroom Advocacy. I will request Sri Pujar from Central University to sing the prayers, whereafter I will introduce the honorable guests, speakers, and then the formal lecture will begin. Before the formal lecture begins, I would be requesting on behalf of the organizing team, especially on behalf of all the trustees of Vijnaneshwara Prathisthana Trust Martur, that Sri Professor Shrinivasa Varakhedi, Vice-Chancellor of Central Sanskrit University, may graciously accept to do what we call as Lokarpana of the official website of Vijnaneshwara Prathisthana Trust. And after the Lokarpana by Sri Professor Shrinivasa Varakhedi ji of the official website of the Vijnaneshwara Prathisthana Trust, I would request Professor Battu Satyanarayana, Honorable Vice-Chancellor of the Karnataka Central University, Kalburgi, to also do the Lokarpana of the PowerPoint presentation, which is specially carved out by the team assisting the Vijnaneshwara Prathisthana Trust. May I request Sri Pujar to, Sri Manju Pujar, to sing the prayer. Manju Pujar, sir.
Murli Pujar.
Mr. Murli Pujar, sir.
Amit Deshpande, sir.
Murli Pujar is there.
Where is there?
No, sir, he's not here.
Okay. Then you continue. Next. Step.
Yes, sir.
Introduce the guests.
Yes. We will now have the introduction of today's honorable speaker, Professor Shrinivasa Varakhedi ji. Professor Shrinivasa Varakhedi, who is now the Vice-Chancellor of Central Sanskrit University, is a distinguished academician, researcher and administrator in the field of Sanskrit studies and computational linguistics. He holds a PhD in Nyaya and has extensive teaching, research and administrative experience spanning nearly 3 decades and more. He has served as the Vice-Chancellor of multiple esteemed institutions, including Kavi Kulaguru Kalidasa Sanskrit University, Gondwana University, and Karnataka Sanskrit University. He has also held key positions such as Registrar, Director, Dean, and Professor in various educational institutions, actively contributing to research and policy amendments in the field of Sanskrit. Additionally, he has been a research associate at Language Technology Research Center, IIT Hyderabad, focusing on natural language processing research courses involving computer science, artificial intelligence, Western logic, and linguistic and Indian Shastras. Under his visionary leadership, Central Sanskrit University has achieved the prestigious A++ grade from NAC and was recognized as a Category 1 university by UGC. Received his guidance for the transformation of Central Sanskrit University into a world-class institution for the establishment of the glory of Sanskrit learning in the global context, aligning with the vision of making Bharat a Vishwaguru. Professor Varakhedi ji has been honored with numerous awards, including the Maharshi Badrayana Vyas Sammana in 2007 by the President of India. Dr. Goswami Giridhari Lal Sanskrit Gaurav Puraskar in 2024, Atal Ratna in 2022, and multiple honorary degrees DLIT from esteemed institutions. Some of his notable accolades include the honoris causa degree in literature in 2025 from the Central Institute of Higher Tibetan Studies, Varanasi, the degree of honoris causa in 2025 from Desh Bhagat University, Punjab, and doctorate of literature in 2024 from Jagadguru Ramanandacharya Rajasthan Sanskrit Vishwavidyalaya, Jaipur. Vaishvika Padma Prabha Sammana by recognition of Sanskrit, University of Calcutta in 2024, among many others. He was further honored with the Kailak Sanskrit Ratna Puraskar in 2025 by the Kailak Jyotish Vaidik Samsthanam, Raipuram, Jammu and Kashmir, and the Rashtriya Vararuchi Sammana in 2025 by Pandit Natwarlal Joshi Smriti Samiti, recognizing his outstanding contribution to Sanskrit scholarship and national intellectual heritage. The list is endless, sir. He is a prolific writer and editor. Professor Varakhedi ji has authored 16 complete books and contributed various chapters in books written in multiple Indian languages and in English also. He has also edited over 100 books, journals, and research papers on Sanskrit philosophy, Nyaya, linguistics, and logic. His contributions extend to his role as chairman, an active member of more than 110 national committees, academic bodies, and policy-making organizations. Some of his notable engagements include serving as a council member and governing body member from 2024 to 2027 at the Indian Council of Philosophical Research, an expert nominee in the selection committee at Jawaharlal Nehru University, a member of the equivalence committee at the University of Delhi, an executive council member of Jagadguru Rambhadracharya Handicapped University, Chitrakoot, a member of the Sanskrit Action Plan Committee under MHRD and UGC, and an expert committee member at the University Grants Commission, etc. He is also a founder member of the Sanskrit Digital Consortium, a consultant on the advisory board for the Mahabharata digitalization project at Manipal University, among many others. Beyond academics, Professor Varakhedi ji is actively involved in social services, including serving as the Vice President of the All India Committee of Sanskrit Bharati, a voluntary organization dedicated to promoting Sanskrit, conducting organ donation camps with Mohan Foundation, volunteering with Landmark Education, along with numerous other contributions in this domain. As a leader in Sanskrit academia, he continues to work towards integrating Sanskrit studies with modern disciplines, ensuring its integration with contemporary technology and research. His contributions to Sanskrit scholarship, digital humanities, and interdisciplinary studies make him one of the most significant figures in the field today. I once again welcome you, sir, on behalf of everyone here and on behalf of the Trust, Vijnaneshwara Prathisthana Trust, the Karnataka State Law University, and the Central University of Karnataka at Kalburgi. I also take this pleasure to and honor to introduce the today's presiding guest, Professor Battu Satyanarayana. Professor Battu Satyanarayana has been serving as the Vice-Chancellor of Central University of Karnataka at Kalburgi, and for our pleasure again, for everybody's happiness today, his term has been extended just day before yesterday, and today he has again reassumed the charge as Vice Chancellor of Central University of Karnataka once again in his second stint. I congratulate him on behalf of everyone here. I welcome him on behalf of all of us. Welcome, sir. Our today's guest of honor, Professor Basavaraj M. Kubakaddi, is the Dean, School of Legal Studies of Central University of Karnataka. He has been actively involved in many academic works in the Central University. I welcome him on behalf of all of us here, sir. Our guest of honor, Sri Mahadevaya Kardalli, who is the Trustee Secretary of Vijnaneshwara Prathisthana Trust, Martur, is the one who, though not belonging to the legal fraternity strictly, has been playing a pivotal role in ensuring that the students from the past 2 decades of law are introduced to the Bharatiya jurisprudence and also the new era jurisprudence and legal studies. He is the one man who has ensured that there have been not less than 200 lectures, online as well as physical, in the past 5 to 6 years only. And before that, he has worked with Justice Dr. M. Rama Jois right from the days of establishing the Vijnaneshwara Prathisthana Trust at Martur, constructing the Vijnaneshwara Research Bhavan till date. I welcome Sri Mahadevaya Kardalli ji on behalf of all of us here, sir. I welcome once again all the other esteemed audience today. Now may I request Professor Dr. Krishna to assist the Honorable Vice-Chancellor of Central Sanskrit University, Sri Srinivasa Varakhedi ji, to inaugurate formally and do the Lokarpana of the Vijnaneshwara Prathisthana Trust's official website. Kindly, Sri Varakhedi ji may also share his screen while opening the website. The of Yes, sir. We thank Sri Varakhedi ji for gracing all of us with his esteemed presence. The Lokarpana of the website www.vijnaneshwaratrust.org. What you can see on the screen of Mr. Krishna is the photograph of the Vijnaneshwara Research Bhavan at Martur, and the website contains very important and vital information about our heritage, our legal traditions, etc. I would fail in my duty as well as the trustees would fail in their duties if we do not acknowledge that within a very short span of time, with the unstinted efforts of Sri K.S. Shrikant and Sri K.R. Sridhar, who are son and father, software engineer from Bangalore, at our request, have created this website. I sincerely extend thanks and gratefulness on behalf of the Vijnaneshwara Prathisthana Trust to Shri Professor Shrinivasa Varakhedi ji for the Lokarpana of the official website. Sir, before we start the lecture, may I request Professor Battu Satyanarayana, Vice-Chancellor of Central University, to also do the Lokarpana of the power presentation slides. A few slides may be shown as a formal. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for the Lokarpana of the power presentation also. PowerPoint presentation contains important information regarding Bharatiya jurisprudence and its march and evolution till date. May I now request Shri Professor Shrinivasa Varakhedi ji to deliver his lecture.
Sarvebhyo namo namaha. I hope I am audible. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Yes,
Great.
yes, you are.
Thank you very much. Sarvebhyo namo namaha. Shubhasayam. I am indeed grateful to Sri Vijnaneshwara Prathisthana Trust, Gulbarga, for inviting me to be part of this series of lectures in the memory of Honorable Justice Rama Jois. I fondly remember my association with Sri Rama Jois, who has been a guiding light in the field of jurisprudence, and at the same time he was a guiding force for Sanskrit studies also. I fondly remember his support for establishment of Karnataka Sanskrit University in Bangalore. After establishment of Karnataka Sanskrit University, where I was a faculty member, we used to seek his guidance for creating a new university, and where he contributed a lot. Today,
मेरी ट्रांजैक्शन लिमिट लगी है तो ये देख ले वीडियो के इस बार मैं 100 से ज्यादा ट्रांजैक्शन कर चुका
somebody has to maintain. Yeah, thank you very much. Respected Professor Battu Satyanarayana, respected Professor Basavaraj Kubakaddi, and Shri Deshpande ji and Mahadevanavaru, and other guests and respected members of the Prathisthana and students and participants. Vijnaneshwara Prathisthana website is inaugurated today. Today, whether you have a site or not, you should have a website. I'm happy to inaugurate, and I appreciate the efforts of Shri K.S. Srikanth and Sridhar for supporting this activity. And Prathisthana should really reach out to the wide public through this website. Today we are going to discuss in a brief way, because today it is 7. I need to finish with 20-25 minutes. I don't take much time, but I'll introduce the subject. This is just to share my experience, and then the details of the technical details of the topic can be read by the scholars and the students on various online and offline reading materials. I'll provide them. We know that Vade Vade Jayate Tattvabodhaha. This is very famous statement in the field of Sanskrit. Vade Vade Jayate Tattvabodhaha. The true knowledge is acquired through the Vada. If you conduct the series of Vada, then you will attain the true essence of the knowledge. What does it mean? Today, in our modern courtroom, so we conduct a series of Vadas, and at the end, Honorable Justice Judge will pronounce the verdict, which is a kind of conclusion. So we need to understand in today's courtrooms whether we are conducting the Vadas and we are getting the conclusion, whether it is a truth or whether it is a conclusion. So in ancient India, we had a kind of a beautiful instrument called Vada, beautiful instrument called Katha. Basically, it is Katha. Katha means Kathana, statement. And Kathana becomes Katha. Katha is a technical term, which is discussion. When two persons or two or more persons involved in a dialogue and discussion, that becomes Katha. But Katha, in a technical sense, has certain rules and regulations. Otherwise, it becomes a gossip. It becomes just a discussion in a room without any conclusion. Many a times in our of the classrooms, when we get time, the teachers and faculty members sit in a room and discuss a lot about today's situations on the streets, and then what's happening in Delhi, and then what's happening on internet and social media, what is discussed, and what is discussed on the TV shows, and then many things. But those discussions do not lead to any conclusion or any truth. But somehow, even these discussions will lead to a kind of truth-finding inquisite in our minds. When something is discussed, suddenly our perception will change. So that means that the discussions and debates will lead to a certain kind of, it will give a direction. It will give a proper direction to reach to the truth. We may not be able to achieve the truth in the real sense, but we will turn to the truth. Because when many different aspects of the same truth is same incident or same ideas same idea are presented, then naturally we will be able to see the same idea and event from the different aspects. Then our perception will become holistic. Therefore, Vada is considered to be an essential way for the finding the truth. But the simple discussion and debate will not lead us to the. Sometimes in the courtroom today we see judgment will be delivered. It is judgment. Can you see the word? Judgment is not. Judgment means nirnaya. Nirnaya means it is a conclusion. So in an inferential method, something is proposed, some argument is placed, counter argument is placed, and then judgment is given. Based on the evaluation of the two arguments and counter arguments, judgment is given. But judgment is given, that doesn't mean that judgment must be true. The conclusion need not be the true, because we know that in the inferential method, if the premises are true, then the conclusion must be true. It doesn't guarantee that the premises or the propositions placed before you are the true propositions. So, for example, even if I say all crows are white, and the crow, this is the particular object is a crow. That means a person called Krishna is a crow. Therefore, Krishna is white. Anything I can argue. That means that need not have any value and truth. Today's courtroom, are we going through this? This is the question. So we have inferential method, and we have judgment. We have a lot of methods for arguments and counter arguments, and we have methods for interpretation, and we have also drawn the method for conclusions. That means we are concluding and ultimately we are coming to a judgment, but judgment need not be the truth. The question is whether we are going towards the truth. Are we interested in the truth, or are we interested in the judgment? In ancient India, we had developed a kind of method of debating for the truth. Our ancient, we remember in the history of Upanishads, we have an anecdote called Yajnavalkya Samvada. Starting from Yajnavalkya Samvada, even the arguments between Shankara and Mandana Mishra, and later on many other discussions happened. All those debates, finally, when Shankara argued for something, his Advaita, and Mandana Mishra argued for basically Mimamsa, the karma marga, and Shankara argued for Jnana marga. Basically, ultimately, Jnana marga is the superior, and Mandana Mishra argued for karma marga is superior. But ultimately, when the conclusion was given by Ubhay Bharati. Of course, she was wife of Mandana Mishra. Mishra surrenders to Shankara, and he says, I have agreed, and I drop my karma vada, and I accept your sannyasa vada, jnana vada. So this was the route for the truth. They debated for the finding for the truth. They never debated for the purpose of debate. So in that sense, Vada is meant for finding the truth. Once you understand the truth, you have to surrender. You have to accept. And you cannot come back. You cannot come back with ahankara. So in that sense, Vade Jayate, that this was the parampara. And in Vāda Kathā, beautifully the methods are developed. In the ancient India, we call Anvikshiki. Anvikshiki means it is taught to everyone. In today's context, mathematics is compulsory for everyone, right? Minimum basic mathematics is compulsory for everyone. Without mathematics, you cannot do any science. Similarly, in ancient India, two things were taught. One, for everyone, minimum grammar, minimum vyakarana. That means understand the rules of speech. Rules of speech. How do you speak? There are rules. There are certain rules, and grammar. These grammar rules are to be understood first. You should refine your speech, walk. To refine your speech, you need to understand the rules of speech. The second one is, in order to refine your thoughts, you need to understand the rules of thoughts. That means this is the structure of the thoughts is taught under Anvikshiki. Anvikshiki means it's a kind of common sense science, kind of common sense science, science for common sense. It gives you kind of skills and power to think in a proper way. So Anvikshiki was later divided as developed as a Nyaya Vidya. Nyaya Vidya is not, Nyaya Vidya doesn't mean that it is Nyaya means it is not Nyaya Anyaya. It's not today's justice and injustice. No. Nyaya means it's a logic, tarka, and structured. So under Nyaya Vidya, basically it was meant for the debate. One portion of Nyaya Vidya was debate, and how debate is to be conducted, and how it is to be developed, and where are the policies, and how to do that. So in honor of Honorable Justice Bobde in Nagpur, we conducted a Śāstrartha in Maharashtra Law University. It was a beautifully designed program. On that day, Justice B.N. Srikrishna was the president. He was the judge. And I was one of the Vadi. I mean, advocate for one Paksha. And another person, Professor Masoon Penna, was Prativadin. We were Vadin and Prativadin. That means the one side I was advocating, and another side he was advocating. We took two Pakshas. We prepared some Shastric argument, and we presented in the Shastric way, Pratigna. Then we gave a Hetu. Hetu means reason. Then after reasoning, we established that the connection between whatever we are, placing the idea, and what is the connection between Hetu. Then we argued for final, conclusions, and then finally it was given. And later, the students also came up with a case, a criminal case, basically. A criminal case. And I remember they also chose a burning topic in the Supreme Court. That was, I think, I don't recall, some burning case. Then they asked us to present the same in Shastric manner. We took the case and we re-articulated the same in the Shastric manner, and then we presented it. In between, we also argued with Nigrahasthana. That means if someone is arguing, I can raise question, raise objection. So in modern court, you can raise objection. When you raise objection, this is called Nigrahasthana. So then sometimes he may agree, he may disagree, but the judge, the court, and basically the judge will approve and disapprove. So finally, we tried with 2-3 Nigrahasthanas also. Then finally, judgment was delivered, and then the judgment, Justice Bobde, I remember, told that the first time I am looking at the two scholars from Sanskrit background, Śāstrartha, they are presenting Śāstrartha, and they are presenting modern court cases in the form of Śāstrartha. I am amazed to see that. And if this happens in our courts, probably the judgments will come very soon, and we need to invite such scholars to our courtrooms. So on that day, I was wondering, what is that which basically inspires him to take that these are the methods that we need to introduce to the modern students of law. There actually it should not be too technical today, but anyway, I just introduced three basic concepts which are considered to be very important. I think many of you may know that. The history of Indian philosophical schools reveals that the establishment of any fresh school of thought was possibly only through a dialogue. Unless you do Vada, and you cannot conquer the opponent. The debate and discourse is of three kinds. It is called Katha, are described by Gautama in his Nyaya Sutra. Vada, the truth-seeking debate. Vada is through truth-seeking debate. You should be very honest. You should use pramanas. Pramanas means instruments for knowing, proper knowledge. It should lead. You cannot, bring false documents. You can say that you can't say that I established the truth on the basis of false document, falsified documents. So basically, the truth seeker should only the part of that. There are other definitions of truth seeker also. Once truth seeker accepts, then once the one party wins over, then he should accept and he should change his view. The rest of the life he should live with that truth. That is the condition. And Jalpa is making arguments to win that employed by eloquent champions. This is basically for winning. The Vada is for seeking the truth, and Jalpa is to make the arguments to win. And the third, today's courts majorly we are making Jalpas. In Jalpas, there are conditions, but until you win, you can continue the dialogue. And the third is Vitanda. Vitanda is destructive disputation. That means it only destroys the opponent's opinion. I don't have any my perception. I don't have any view, but I just disprove, or I just destruct the opponent's position. This is how the third position is taken, and I don't have my own position. So these three types of Vadas, Vāda Kathā, we have. The purpose of last being mere refutation of the opponents, and the purpose first being the getting truth even while losing oneself. Even after losing, one should accept the truth. Sometimes somebody wins. Even after winning, he would say, if he finds the truth in the opponent, he will even after winning, he will say that the truth is accepted and I want to change my perception. This is where Vada stands for. The middle one is, of course, an instrument for the professional debaters who do not care about anything except their victory. And today we are, for all reasons, we are standing in the Jalpa. That means second sutra of Gautama begins in the enumeration of categories of these kinds of, basically here, Nyaya Sutra introduces debate with many limbs, it starts with samshaya, basically doubt. There should be a doubt. Then there should be purpose, prayojana. And drishtanta, you should have an illustration, similar case. You should have siddhanta, ultimately you should have a stand. And there should be some tarka, counterfactual arguments and reasons. And there should be some avayava. That means you should, while placing your argument, you should have some members of syllogism. You should bring all the documents and pramanas. And finally coming to a conclusion. So, this any kinds of vada, jalpa and vitanda comprises of these angas. And there are fallacies. There are chalas, tricks. Actually, in courts, we use a lot of tricks. And this is called a chala. And there is a jati. It is not jati in today's in the sense of caste. It is legitimate objection and rejoinder. This is called jati. And nigrahasthana is points of capture. I have captured, I have stopped him. So this sort of, so basically the pramana based arguments are called vadas. And without pramana, only on the basis of tarka and only on the basis of fallacies, chala and jati, if you argue, and you are just placing your arguments for the purpose of winning or for the purpose of refuting the other party. So in that sense, these are the base aspects are detailed in our shastras, which are actually, when we see them, the very finer points, finest SOPs are drawn. Even if you go there, you will find the SOPs. When should you should use this nigrahasthana, when you should not, and all these very finer details are discussed and given. More than I don't think that not less than 20,000 pages are available in one prasthana. I have seen these discussions and debate happening. I know this is not just a theory placed in the. So this is happening in. You can see in our Yajnavalkya Smriti, and the same thing is considered in our Ayurveda Vidyasthana, where discussions on the doctors should discuss whether it is jara is caused by some particular roga or something else. So all these are because they should seek the truth and then they should treat. So discussions were not happening only in the philosophical rooms. Discussions are happening in the field of art, in the field of health, in the field of other sciences also, even in Jyotisha and many other fields. And when I saw these aspects, once with Honorable Justice Narasimha, P.S. Narasimha, before his appointment as Supreme Court, Honorable Supreme Court Judge, we had a detailed discussion on during the COVID. We had people from judiciary and people from our Śāstrartha. In detail, we discussed about Evidence Act. In the Evidence Act, what we found is we kept the ancient Indian evidences, how Saksha is given and all that smritis we collected, and we placed them in front of the today's Evidence Act. What is the witness and what are the definitions of witness, and when he becomes first, he becomes witness, when he is called hostile, and all these discussions we placed in front of them. Interestingly, what we found is it is more than whatever today's understanding of a witness. More than that is discussed, and more than that is added from our ancient treatise. Coming to the point, in today's courtroom, can we bring our ancient pramanas called Pratyaksha, Anumana and Upamana and Shabda? Because the written documents are Shabda. And how to interpret Shabda also we have Mimamsa. And in Anumana, even in Pratyaksha, even after perceiving something, my own, one of the students from Nagpur, Maharashtra Law University, she worked on the perception that is involved in the Sakshya, where that can be rejected. Even if you consider them, you can reject them. Then Pratyaksha can also be interpreted in many ways. So those details are worked out in our Shastras. Sometimes when you place many pramanas, including Pratyaksha Sakshi and Shabda and then Anumana, these, when they are contradicting with each other, what is Prabala and what is Durbala? What pramana you should depend upon, what pramana you can reject. These Prabala Durbala Vichara is also maintained. Even in Dvaita Dvaita Charcha, Śāstrartha, I have seen Pandits used to come with new arguments and very fresh arguments which are not found in the text. That means today they are coming with new arguments and new interpretations. Those interpretations, arguments are rejected by the opponents. These kinds of Vadarthas I have seen. I think ancient Indian methods and our own today's methods, we should combine and we should keep them today. Slowly, can we bring our ancient methods to the courtroom? That is my question. Can we at least show one or two which are possible? And slowly, can we bring the entirety in entirety? Because these Shastras are content neutral Shastras. That means the content is not, the method is not taking one side. Method is purely, it is secular. That means it is mathematical. It has nothing to do with any kind of taking one side. In that sense, all these ancient jurisprudence, the techniques and methods and the SOPs are to be reinterpreted and relocated from the Śāstrartha room to, and recently I find such efforts are going on. And today I did not want to take the technical aspect of it. At least one thing I wanted to show, which was very important one, how it can be.
Sir, there is a key called screen share on the bottom, just beside your video option.
Yeah. Yeah, video option. Yeah, I know. One minute, it's in this. Yes. When we place one argument, Vishayo Vishayashchaiva Purupakshas Tathottaraha. See, when in our courtroom we present our argument, it is called Adhikarana. In our Mimamsa, we have a because it's ancient method of writing an argument. It is called Adhikarana. So in one Adhikarana, what are the very important key aspects of Adhikarana? Vishayo Vishayashchaiva Purupakshas Tathottaraha. Vishaya means you should have a topic. That means what is that which is doubted here? Exactly, you should note point of doubt. In two arguments, if both the parties sometimes they place their own arguments, and the judge will be unable to find out what is the dispute here. Sometimes disputes are resolved while placing the arguments itself. Therefore, point of dispute is very important. So that is called Vishaya. Then what is exactly Samshaya? Which part you should take and why samshaya is arising here. And then the two arguments, Purva Paksha and Uttara Paksha, their detailed arguments and pramanas. After that, before concluding, what is your prayer? What exactly you want to seek from the judge? These elements are called adhikarana, which is presented in the same way it is presented in all our Mimamsa Shastra. It is ancient Shastra about 3,000 years, and it is meant for Vedic interpretation. Basically, it is meant for Vedic interpretation. Later, it is used for all the arguments. So these, once we wrote the case in the form of this, then it was very clear for the judgment. Judge was looking at that. Oh, in the same, I think today we write in our own fashion, but can we write in the ancient fashion very clearly what exactly we are seeking for? So in that sense, we can try with these kinds of smaller, and the Tantra Yukti is another aspect. When we write something, the Tantra Yuktis are the connectors between our arguments. When we argue for something, if 20 pages argument, today judges don't know how to get the arguments because of huge documents are produced before the judge, and a judge cannot read them. And then how to come to a conclusion? So if at all today's AI also will be helpful for us, the connectors, more than 32 connectors are identified by Arthashastra, and many others are added later. But these Tantra Yuktis are basically connectors. Through the connectors, you can avoid certain things and come to a conclusion, because they are the logical connectors, like mathematical operators. So once mathematical operators are there, you can take the meaning out of it. So today's AI machines, basically they are large language models, are using these sort of connectors, and those connectors will help them to construct and destruct and reconstruct the whole ideas. Similarly, our ancient Indian methods, Tantra Yuktis, can be added. So with these ideas, can we recreate our courtrooms argument and the writing method of the case arguments and the presenting our documents with Tantra Yuktis? With these three, we can change our courtrooms, and then hopefully, if we start today, it takes 100 and 200 years. And after today, Rama Jois is remembered for that purpose. And ultimately, I heard one statement from in one of his speech. Parityajed arthakamo yausyatam dharma varjito. Shri Rama Jois told this, and he wrote a book on this. Parityajed arthakamo. He quotes it from Mahabharata and Smriti. Parityajed arthakamo yausyatam dharma varjito. So if dharma is something going against dharma, or dharma is missing, then you should not accept, you should not use the artha and kama. Artha and kama are very important in life. But if it is devoid of dharma, then you should be careful about artha and kama. This is what it says. Today, in courtroom, we are dependent on artha, means upaya, basically instruments. The instruments that we are employing, and the urge for winning, these two are artha kamas. But when dharma is kept away, and without dharma, and they both are very harmful. Can we come to this conclusion? And can we say that the method of old method, which was very dharmic way of understanding, today's courtrooms are happening like TV shows, and TV shows arguments are brought to the courtrooms, and we have seen that because of many other conditions, courtrooms and TV argument rooms are becoming similar. Though the courtrooms are guided and courtrooms are guided with certain rules and regulations. Today, anyway, we have found lot of lacuna in this area. Can we slowly replace with our dharmic method of argumentation and come back to our old method and find out the truth and dharma in the courtrooms? With these words, I thank you very much for inviting me. ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ನನ್ನ ಶುಭಾಶಯಗಳು, ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು. I congratulate and Dr. Battu Satyanarayana ji for getting his term extended, and I thank Shri Mahadevaya and Amit Kumar Deshpande ji for inviting me and for making me part of this great initiation. Thank you very much. Dhanyavadaha. Namo Namah.
Thanks a lot, sir. This was really very enlightening and very enriching. This will be quite
Yes,
an
sir.
insightful thing for
Sir.
everyone.
If the time permits, I have to one question, sir. Can I ask?
Yeah, organizers should say, I'm okay, I'm open.
Yes, sir. Please, you can ask one question and then we'll proceed to the next one. Because the time is very short now, please be very brief.
Okay, sir. Sir, what are the ethical boundaries when moving from Jalpa to true justice seeking advocacy?
See, there are two things. Truth and justice is another very important. Sometimes truth may not be delivering the justice. That's also a big question in Mahabharata. Justice is delivered and truth is not delivered. And truth is delivered, justice is not delivered. These are the very complex aspects. Even in Mahabharata, it is there. If you consider that justice is to be delivered, then truth must be there, but sometimes beyond truth, justice is delivered. So justice is a little complex thing. I can reach the truth. The justice is very complex idea. According to this method from Vada to Jalpa. So Jalpa is happening today in the courtrooms. But from Jalpa to go to Vada, at least some some consciousness should be there. Some sort of dharma saksha is very important for judge, for the advocates, and for the society. So that achieving that level is very hard. That should come from the education. See, in India, there are two things. This is societal argument. For example, if at all I have done some crime. I think that I have done some crime. Then there are only two ways to come out of it. One is take danda, accept danda and clear it. The second way is prayaschitta. Prayaschitta means you should do paschatapa, then after paschatapa, and you should have a prayaschitta on your own. But the state cannot consider all the crimes, because state is a very big thing. Small crimes will happen every day. For that, we have to follow prayaschitta part, and we should introduce prayaschitta in our learning. Do some paschatapa and prayaschitta, then we clear it, so that your crimes will not affect you. The second level is the crime which is harming the society, and the state will come inside. When state comes, then I should accept danda. But there, both the parties should be ready for that. Are we preparing our people for that sort of danda? That is very important. We should also, being advocate, we should also prepare our parties for some sort of punishment. Are we ready for that? We don't know. These are the higher level questions.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Your experience about Shastras and also about law is too immense, and we all are grateful for giving us these insights. These are perplexing questions which we confront every day. Advocates, law students, judges, everyone. So I'm sure this lecture will take all of us further in understanding the complexity of justice and then simplifying that and actually delivering it to the needy. at this moment itself, I should again recollect and thank everyone and acknowledge the presence of Dr. Girish Kesi, Coordinator, Center for Research in Water Resource Management and Law, and Center for Research in Democracy and Constitutional Government, Karnataka State Law University, Hubballi, Karnataka State Law University, Central University of Karnataka, and Vijnaneshwara Prathisthana Trust. Altogether have joined hands to bring to the audience here this lecture series on the eve of the birth anniversary of Dr. Rama Jois. I also acknowledge the presence of Shri Patil ji, Basavaraj Patil ji, the President of the Vijnaneshwara Prathisthana Trust, and all other trustees of Vijnaneshwara Prathisthana Trust here, the Hon'ble Vice-Chancellor of the Karnataka State Law University, and the principals of various law colleges, including the law colleges in Kalburgi, SSL Law College, Siddharth Law College, and other law colleges, Vijnaneshwara Law College. I also acknowledge the presence of the staff and other administrating and management members of the various societies and law colleges. Here we will now proceed, because of paucity of time, to request Sri Professor Battu Satyanarayana, the Vice Chancellor of Central University of Karnataka, to deliver his presidential remarks. And thereafter, if we have any questions from the audience, we may also take few questions, provided Professor Sri Srinivasa Varakhedi ji has some time to answer that. Yes.
Yes, sir. Professor Srinivasa Varakhedi ji, the Vice Chancellor, Sanskrit University. Sri Amit Deshpande ji, the Professor Basavaraj Kubakaddi ji, Mahadev ji, Sri Madam ji, and other dignitaries, participants, other in law colleges and universities, and students. I'm happy to associate myself with this Sri Rama Jois birthday celebrations. Really has contributed a lot for the development of the Vijnaneshwara Trust as a founder member, and definitely this will go in a long way. And today, Srinivasa Varakhedi ji also narrated very well what is the Vada, what is the argument, what is the debate discussion, and how he told about how our roots are there in the Mahabharata, Ramayana. So whatever we need to, it is a time to revisit our Indian knowledge system, our Indian jurisprudence, and definitely this Vijnaneshwara Trust will, that is providing a platform to the young scholars, budding law students, practicing lawyers. So really it is a very good platform to discuss openly. Sometimes officially in other platforms may not discuss, but this is an open platform where we can revisit our Indian jurisprudence, what is there. Now he is clearly explaining what is justice, what is truth. Truth and justice are not same like this. So our lawyers, young lawyers, law students, they should know about all these things. Because nowadays they are not exposed to many of our ancient or Indian knowledge system. Lot of things are we forgotten. Now it is time to revisit, because NEP 2020 is also advocating to revisit our Indian knowledge system, what is there, because so far a lot of changes are taking place even during this last 4 or 5 years. We have a lot of changes in the criminal laws. So therefore, if you what he told that the Prachattapa, one should realize, otherwise everything we cannot go to the court and we cannot expect everything judgment because of it is accumulating lot of cases in the courts, and courts also, the judges, they cannot find the time for all these things so to complete the cases. Every day, the number of cases are, the filing number of cases are more than the number of cases delivered. So therefore, definitely the number will increase every time. So if we revisit to our Indian system, if we resolve the issues at our local level, so it will also reduce the burden on the courts and waiting for the years together in the court for a judgment, because all these things takes place, arguments, counter arguments. The judge has to decide how very carefully. If he doesn't judge properly, and one side or other side again, they may not feel happy. So therefore, if we disputes are resolved at local level by applying our Indian jurisprudence, many issues will be resolved, and so this type of discussions are very much required, and definitely this Vijnan Trust definitely will help particularly the law students for a new knowledge system about the Indian knowledge system or Indian jurisprudence. So with this again, I thank these organizers for providing this opportunity for everyone, including practice lawyers, because they also have an opportunity to again participate into this type of academic activities. With this, I thank the organizers. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. We also acknowledge the presence of former Vice-Chancellor, the first Vice-Chancellor of the Karnataka State Law University, Dr. Jois Patil, whose contribution towards Vijnaneshwara's Mitakshara in Kalburgi, in Gulbarga University then, is quite commendable. It's an unmatched contribution that he has also done. We have with us today Professor Tanmay Patil and his wife Srimati Anita Patil. Apart from many other luminaries here amidst us, taking the names of each of them will be not so possible within the time that is limited today. We acknowledge the presence of everyone here today, especially the honorable judges, sitting judges of the High Court, who are amidst their work taking keen interest in attending such lectures. This will show that all of us are students and shall ever remain so. I hope there are no questions from anyone to the speakers today.
Sir, if the time permits, I have one more question, sir.
Sir, we are actually running out of time. I'm very sure when there are questions coming, even I have many questions, we would request the Honorable Speaker, Shri Varakhedi ji, to again accept our invitation for another lecture.
Okay, sir.
Because
I would like
hope
to
you can understand.
add. I
Yes.
would like to add only one sentence, sir, to what Mr. Varakhedi has said. Katha Lakshana is a work of Madhvacharya, wherein all rules of argument are clearly documented. That would be a very important work which deserves a special attention. That's all my note.
Yes, sir. Whom we just now heard giving the advice is none other than Shri Suryanarayan Rao, the advocate who was practicing since last more than 55 years. And all of us here, he will be joining us to deliver a lecture on the 31st of July. We will soon share the link also. Thank you, Shri Suryanarayan Rao. We acknowledge the presence of the trustees of Sadvidya Paripalana Trust, Chennai, Mr. A.R. Mukundan, Shri V. Krishnan, who are doing study in Mitakshara, which is a Sanskrit text, and they have also, in fact, delivered lectures by reading out verse by verse the text of Mitakshara and explaining that in the language known to all of us, in the today's language known to all of us. So, may I now call upon Shri Mahadevaya Kardalli ji to deliver the vote of thanks and
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ವಿಜ್ಞಾನೇಶ್ವರ ಪ್ರತಿಷ್ಠಾನ ಕಳೆದ ದಶಕಗಳಿಂದ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಸನಾತನ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಭಂಡಾರವನ್ನ ಆಧುನಿಕ ಜೀವನ ಪದ್ಧತಿಗೆ ಮೇಳೈಸಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಸೊ ಇವತ್ತು ಏನ್ಸೆಂಟ್ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜುರಿಸ್ಪ್ರುಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಸನಾತನ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಪರಂಪರೆಯ ಪ್ರತೀಕವಾಗಿ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿಯ ಗೌರವಾನ್ವಿತ ಕುಲಪತಿಗಳು, ಆಧುನಿಕ ಕಾನೂನಿನ ಪ್ರತೀಕವಾಗಿ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಮತ್ತು KSL ಕುಲಪತಿಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳನ್ನು ಸೇರಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ವಿಜ್ಞಾನೇಶ್ವರ has become a platform for thinking. ನಾನು ಇದೊಂದು ಹೊಸ ದಿಕ್ಕು ಕೊಡಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೋತೇನೆ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿದ ಗೌರವಾನ್ವಿತ ಕುಲಪತಿಗಳಾದ ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಬೆಂಬಲಿಗರಾದಂತಹ ಸದಾಕಾಲಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ನೇಹಸ್ಥ ನೀಡುತ್ತಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸನ್ಮಾನ್ಯ ಶ್ರೀ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ್ ವರಖೇಡಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ, ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಭಟ್ಟು ಸತ್ಯನಾರಾಯಣ ಅವರಿಗೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಬಸವರಾಜ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ, KSL ಗೌರವಾನ್ವಿತ ಕುಲಪತಿಗಳಾದ ಬಸವರಾಜ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ, ಅವರ ಪ್ರತಿನಿಧಿ ಗಿರೀಶ್ ಅವರು, ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಟರ್ ಆದಂತಹ ಕೃಷ್ಣ, ಅಮಿತ್ ದೇಶಪಾಂಡೆ ಅವರು, ಮತ್ತೆಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಟ್ರಸ್ಟಿಗಳು, ಇವತ್ತು ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿದಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗೌರವಾನ್ವಿತರಿಗೂ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಯಾಗಿ ಸಾಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಹಕರಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಗಳನ್ನ ಮತ್ತು ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನ ಅರ್ಪಿಸ್ತೇವೆ. ಮುಂದೆ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತ ಕಾಲಖಂಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಪ್ರಯಾಣ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಯಾಗಿರ್ಲಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಪರಂಪರೆ ನ್ಯಾಯ ವಿತರಣೆ ಕಾರ್ಯ ಇಡೀ ವಿಶ್ವಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾದರಿಯಾಗಿಸುವಂತ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಆ ಸಹಕಾರ ನಿಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ನೀವು ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗೌರವಾನ್ವಿತರಿಗೆ ನಾನು ವಿಜ್ಞಾನೇಶ್ವರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನು ಅರ್ಪಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲ ಟ್ರಸ್ಟಿಗಳು, ಪ್ರತ್ಯಕ್ಷ ಪರೋಕ್ಷವಾಗಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿದಂತ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಆತ್ಮೀಯರೇ, 31ನೇ ತಾರೀಕು 6:30 7:30 ಸೇಮ್ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳಿಗೆ. ಮುಂಬರುವ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ 31ನೇ ತಾರೀಕು ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಬೇಕು. ಆಮೇಲೆ 3ನೇ ತಾರೀಕು ಮತ್ತು 10ನೇ ತಾರೀಕಿಗೆ ನಿರ್ಧರಿತ ದಿನಾಂಕಗಳಿವೆ. ಆ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಗೌರವಾನ್ವಿತ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳಿಂದ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸಗಳನ್ನ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ವಿನಂತಿ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ತೇನೆ. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ತುಂಬಾ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
Sir, for the subsequent lectures, the same link will be available on the 31st of July. We will share the link again, the timings again. In the evening, there will be a lecture of Sri Suryanarayan Rao. The link will be the same link as on today.
Same link, same time. Same will be there. If change is there, we'll inform them. PPT ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರ್ ಆದಂತ ಶ್ರೀ ಶಂಕರ್, ಶ್ರೀ ಗಿರೀಶ್ ಕರದಳ್ಳಿ ಮತ್ತು ಶ್ರೀ ಆದರ್ಶ ಗಡಿ ಅವರು ಸಹಕಾರ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನು ಅರ್ಪಿಸ್ತೇವೆ. ಇದರ PPT ತುಂಬಾ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳಿದೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ತಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದೊಂದು ಹೊಸ ಆಯಾಮ ಶುರುವಾಯಿತು. ವೆಬ್ಸೈಟ್ ಮೂಲಕ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನೇಶ್ವರ ಪ್ರತಿಷ್ಠಾನ ಹೊಸ ಆವಿಷ್ಕಾರದೊಂದಿಗೆ ತಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ತಾವೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ವಿನಂತಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಶಾಂತಿ ಮಂತ್ರ ಹೇಳಿ. ಓಂ ಸರ್ವೇ ಜನ, ಓಂ ಸರ್ವೇ ಭವಂತು ಸುಖಿನಃ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ. ಅಮಿತ್ ಅವರು.
Thank you, sir.